Hello, everybody. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. Take number 2 of the video, and of course, the dog started playing in the background. First take, audio problems, of course. So, gap up today. We talked about a potential rally today. Broad market rallied, but then could not sustain it. S&P closing down, NASDAQ closing fairly neutral. Watch yesterday's low price though. If both indices close below it, that is not a good sign. So watch it on a closing basis. Tesla today, probably not as long a video as yesterday. Partial gap fill today, got the little rally. We had some options go off around the 750s. I'm not going to go through that in depth. There's like 40,000. I thought we were going to get a little pop with that, but we couldn't even get up to that. Barely didn't even get up to 745 area. I was keying off this 62.5% harmonic level that we put up yesterday. First little sign was we gapped up, nearly fully filled the gap, retested the prior resistance, becoming support, and going through those levels projected yesterday, which then I used this. We didn't have a pausing bar on the 15-minute right away. Always double check that because you want to, if all possible, use the higher time frame above. See here, I had to use there was not pausing bar, so I had to stick with the 5-minute, and I used the second one right there, gave me 740.09. So my next little mini was this little mini cluster, then 742.47. Pretty much just watch the 742.50 area coming up there. Little mini divergence, the pullback to the 5-minute rotation zone. And that's where I thought we were going to get. We got some options kicking off in here, but it could not sustain it. And pretty much topping out at that real close at 62.5. And that's the critical level. You've heard me talk about it before. I'm always watching for a close above that for a continued rally, whether it be for a gap fill or just in any up move where I have those harmonic retracements. That's key. Coming up here, again, test that level right up there, and divergence there on the 15-minute. This could not sustain the momentum higher. You can clearly see that. Then we just pretty much drifted sideways, holding that 738.50 into the close. That 738.50, which has been on the chart for a bit, has held nicely. So that gives us key levels for tomorrow, and I bet if you had to guess what's the first level we'll be watching to the downside, you can identify it right now, 738.50, right around here. You can go to 738 if you want to be a little more conservative. Really conservative would be a close below about 737. If we start breaking down, now my next level is the 734.50 area right around here, which we pretty much dojied on, and then the next bar is low, and it's the harmonic 37.5, and then below there, I'm watching 729.20 to 730 area right in here. We still have a mini gap fill. I mean, it's sort of like a pathetic gap fill, but it's something to just keep note. Below there, I mean, the next harmonic is 724 area. I'll start doing the projections down, and then of course below that 718.67, and then the levels still kick in from yesterday with the major support 711 through 715. I'm going to be focused on the 712 through 715, with my focus being higher on 712 and 713. Now to the upside. Here I'm watching is this resistant shelf right here. Resistant shelf 743, right in here. Again, focus on candle body. See how nicely that lines up? It gives you the real ID. Most people would say, oh, I'm going to focus on this high. Focus on the candle bodies and watch for a close. 15-minute preferably. 5-minute aggressively. 5 minutes not as clear a shelf, but it's really clear shelf on that 15-minute. Above there, then I'm going to watch for today's high. I'm really going to just key off that 740, 495, 745 area, that harmonic area. And then that's key for closing, especially if we get an hour or longer close above that. People, I think, wanted me to specify that. So that's more so on an hour, unless we have a series of momentum bars. If we get like a series of cascading momentum bars, something like this. Boom, boom, boom. See this? This is what I mean by cascading momentum bars. See this little move? If we get something like that above a key level with just a pause, then it starts resuming, that's good enough for me. So either I want a longer term close above that 62.5% level, which again, 745, or something like that cascading momentum bar, something that really shows momentum. Above there, pretty much same levels as yesterday. Then we have 750.21 to 751. That's going to be my new cluster using the projections and the 75% harmonic and this little prior support shelf that it gapped through. And this harmonic 751.17 lining up really nicely. So that's a key little resistance zone. Again, don't worry about the pennies. I'm focused 750 to 751 right in there. Above there, 754.25 to 755.40 area, and then 59.90, so 60 to 60.72. Those are all my upside targets. If we go through it, then you're watching for the most recent highs. This 764.45. If we tore through there, I just use intraday projections because I really doubt we get up to that 770 area. Let's just check in on those longer term charts. You can see second bar. I mean, that's that 7 area we already talked about. We're looking like we're getting the first cross of the 4-hour rotation zone. But again, sorry about the background noise. At least he's learning to play. He plays a little vocally though, and I'm referring to the dog, the new edition of the dog. So that's again, I'm not paying as much attention to this since we're still in this upwards channel. I'm just taking note of it, and it's interesting how that was the little end of the bar, but I'm not giving that much credibility to it. Again, I believe yesterday and today were also Chinese holidays, and we still have that bond issue, Avantgarde. I forget even how to say the company name. You know, that's it. Giant over leveraged thing that's getting unwound and collapsing. So keep an eye, especially tomorrow morning, with the Chinese headlines and what's going on with that, to see if we have any more carnage in China. If China firms up, then I'd say watch for another rally. If China is really, really weak, I'll watch for continued broad market sell-off. Now, that does not mean necessarily Tesla's going to do the same things. It's bucking the trend. The main thing I'm watching now with Tesla is the increased chatter about, what's going on with the beta with full self-driving, whether we're going to get the transportation boards looking into it more. You know, they've already subpoenaed all those records, and from other car makers too. If the headlines start rolling across, now what's interesting, if we start seeing headlines, I will immediately check for the options, because sometimes when there's that bad news in Tesla, well, more often than not, we get a bunch of options going off. So that's why, you can't always just say if the market's down, Tesla's going to be down, or if the market's up, Tesla's going to be up. If the market's up, it will help Tesla. If it's down, I'm going to keep an eye with what's going on with the Tesla headlines and the options market. And we still have this gap fill left behind. By the way, I did get asked a question, is this a double top? No, it is 2 tops. Why isn't it a double top? I'm just going to modify this. This is coming from this right-hand side, because one of the keys, remember this. Remember, and it's easy to forget, but remember this. It's a double top in the fact that you can get, I should restate this, it's not the full-blown double top, because the final thing is, but it's within this move. I should restate that. I did misspeak. It is a double top down to this 667.40 level. I would not use all 3 targets. I'd use the 2 targets on that. So actually, let me leave that on there. I should have probably put that on before. So, but if we do get up to gap fill, it will be a triple top. So I should have clarified that with the double. Ah, silly me. Oh well, silly me. I hate to. I'm not even, and I don't edit stuff out of my videos. Oh, come on. Now we have a frozen price action. All right, data is back. So again, that is technically a double. Oh, two things to keep in mind: do ignore the bottom target unless we have a lot of weakness and break through this other target with the gap fill, because that bottom target goes through the wicks. Also on the daily, I guess I can probably confuse people more often. See, this is what I was watching. I thought the second target was into this wick here, and so on the daily, it was not going to be a double. I was wrong. It is into the candle body, so it is valid. Now, what's interesting is all of the targets are below the lower channel line. So it's almost like a superseding pattern is in the way. That's why I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I still will use those targets if we break below the bottom channel line. Hopefully I didn't confuse people too much. Sorry for the data issues and the pausing in the video, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye for now.